I'm the Big LG Doc Gallows, and you're watching the Wrestling Junkies. Boom.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati. Podcast dad's feeling under the weather, so I am flying solo tonight, but nevertheless, we are keeping the vibes high because Monday Night Raw was absolutely locked and loaded. NXT tonight, we are in the post-deadline era, looking straight ahead to New Year's Eve, and we have a lot to discuss. Podcast dad, hope you feel better soon. Hope to have you back tomorrow. Thank you so much to everybody that has joined me tonight. As always, you can find us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But most importantly, do us a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, this would normally be the time where the podcast dad tells you to tell one person about the little community that we are creating here at the Wrestling Junkies podcast. So I'm going to echo those same sentiments. Just tell one person, whether you love us, whether you hate us, hopefully you love us. Tell your friends to subscribe. I think that we're having a great time over here at the Wrestling Junkies podcast, and there's always a seat at our table. Fuck tribalism and all that shitty stuff that comes along with being a wrestling fan sometimes. But if you want good vibes, great content, just an incredibly entertaining podcast, hit that subscribe button. And where will we be without our friends at the Main Event Wrestling Network? You can find them at mainevent_net on all social media platforms. We've got incredible watch-alongs, blogs, podcasts, just incredible network of incredibly talented people. If you love trivia as well, we have that too. Shout out to our friend Tino, who does his incredible weekly watch-alongs of not just pro wrestling, but of the NFL. He's putting together a little video package as we say farewell to John Cena after 25 years, and that will be on the Main Event Wrestling Network YouTube channel later on this week. Also, if you want to support the Wrestling Junkies, go ahead and scan that QR code in the top left corner, and that's our merch store. Holidays are coming up, so if you need a hoodie, a t-shirt, a beanie, or a mug, we got you, and it's got our logo on it. So yeah, again, support the Wrestling Junkies podcast and head over to the merch store. Real quick, tomorrow we've got NWA World's Television Champion Brian Idol joining the show, hoping that Podcast Dad is back for this. It's going to be a great conversation. If you have missed Action Wrestling Bangers Only, if you missed Tim Bosby, the Action World Champion tap out to Darian Banks, then that show is available now on IWTV. Let's head on over to the chats here. The fact checker is in the house, and it is indeed Tuesday. You know what that means. It's a Tuesday. We have also got Mr. OTM of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast Thursday nights, 8/7 Central. Hello to you too, sir. Good to have you in the chats tonight. But let's get into it. We've had enough plugs here. Monday Night Raw is in the books, and there is a lot to talk about here, I think. Just kind of the rapid fire recap if you missed Monday Night Raw. Gunther opening the show, promising to break Cena's will and his spirit, and vows that he will give up this weekend during his last match at Saturday night's main event. Raquel Rodriguez confronts Stephanie Vaquer, wanting her shot again at the Women's World Championship. Bron Breakker delivering a very impassioned promo once again towards CM Punk ahead of their match on January 5th at Monday Night Raw. Logan Paul and the Vision continued to be a thorn in the side of the WWE roster, specifically Rey Mysterio and LA Knight. LA Knight being tsunamied by Bronson Reed on top of a car. The Usos are back in the tag division, and they are deciding that they want to come after not just AJ Lee, but the New Day and the Viking Raiders. So it looks like the tag team division is getting a shakeup here. But it's time for the 5-minute fallout. Let's talk a little bit about this Gunther promo, calling out John Cena. Now, again, Gunther defeating LA Knight in the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament last Friday to earn the opportunity to challenge John Cena in his final match this Saturday night's main event. And knowing that there were no more dates for Cena to appear, no more Raw, no more SmackDown, no more NXT, it is on Gunther to build anticipation for this match outside of the emotional factor that is the fact that it's John Cena's last match. And deliver he did. This is the Gunther that we have wanted to see for most of 2025, that we just haven't. He was motivated. He was impassioned. He was damn near smug. Again, he vows to break Cena's will, break his spirit. And he wants to make, as Fact Checker has pointed out here, wants to make John Cena give up. And I mean, I think that that's almost the perfect way for John Cena to go out is, I have a feeling that Gunther is going to win this match, but it should be in a very decisive fashion, and John Cena should give up. His most recent interview with Chris Van Vliet is out, and there's clips of those making the rounds here. And the big part about this retirement is that John Cena says he's not going out on his own terms. If he could do this forever, he would. But he doesn't feel like he's capable of physically keeping up with what is required to be at your best in WWE. And he's been very vocal about that this entire year. All the more reason to show that he is not able to keep up with somebody like Gunther, because Gunther is one of one. There's been nobody quite like him in WWE history, and the pedigree that he has, the championship history that he has. If Gunther is going to get the rub out of this to be the one to retire John Cena, it has to be a demolition. It has to just be a complete and utter decimation of the greatest of all time, and should end in a submission. The leader of the C Nation, who never gives up, finds himself giving up all of a sudden, and that's the end of the career here. That's a story worth getting behind. And, going into 2026, where this is kind of the establishment, kind of the planting of the roots of this youth movement that WWE has right now, Gunther is a main event talent. His first 2 world title runs were not very successful in my estimation. And, having this win against John Cena on his belt can do a lot for him going into 2026 to rehab his credibility as a threat to every championship on the roster. So let me know what you guys think about this. I think that Gunther beating Cena by submission changes everything for the Ring General in 2026, but I do want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments about this, because it's, it may not be the match that everybody wanted, but I think that we're going to be happy with the story that is told and the send-off that happens for John Cena. So I'm going to take the wait-and-see approach like I usually do. And that promo got me excited for this match. They had one show to do it, and Gunther, again, delivered. If you haven't watched the promo, do yourselves a favor and check it out. Now, Mr. Ramsey's in the chats. Thank you for stopping by, sir. Feel better soon yourself as well. Let's talk a little bit about the Usos. The Usos showing up after the World Tag Team title match between AJ Lee and the Viking Raiders. AJ Lee getting another win. I don't think that anybody expected them to lose last night. But the Usos coming out to address the New Day, who are commentary for the tag title match. And the Usos are finally back in the tag team division. I know that Podcast Dad wishes that he could sit here and celebrate. I think that this would make him happier than the Eagles did last night. Sorry, I had to do it. But I think that this is the right move. At least Podcast Dad has been saying for quite some time, the bloom is off the rose when it comes to the Jey Uso singles run. He got the Rumble story, the WrestleMania moment. That's not to say that 2025 was a failure for Jey Uso by any means. I just think that it peaked. I like Jey Uso. I like him a lot. I'm starting to get a little bit of the fatigue with the entrance at times, specifically all right, let's run it back one more time. It kind of jumped the shark at War Games for me. And that's I'm waiting to see kind of how they temper that now that the Usos are back together. I think that they should come out to their theme if they're going to be in the tag team division again. But let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to go to the chats here real quick. Fernando, thank you for joining me. Always great to see you in the chats, my friend. And good move to bring them back to the tag division. Thank you. I agree. And do we get a slow heel turn for Jey within the Usos' latest tag run? I certainly think it's possible. And they lit that fuse a little bit last night, because while I'm sure Jimmy believes that he was motivating Jey Uso, I think that they could have reunited and established themselves as wanting the tag titles again without Jimmy needing to go into the things that have gone wrong for Jey Uso in 2025, because there's so much that went right that, instead of focusing on the You eliminated John Cena to win the Royal Rumble. You won the world title at WrestleMania by submitting Gunther. These are things that could have been addressed, but again, Jimmy focusing on the negative and trying to be the supportive big brother that he is, encouraging him to go back to what seems familiar. And that familiarity can breed a little bit of contempt, especially if, let's say we do get a good tag team title run out of the Usos, especially when if the Usos are baby faces and the New Days are heels. That's a dynamic we haven't seen before when it comes to that particular rivalry, that there's a lot of meat on the bone for that. But again, over time, I think Jay's going to miss that singles success and that limelight. And I think it starts with again, going back to the Usos tag team theme, maybe not doing the rewind. That was a signature of a Jay Uso singles entrance, coming back through the ramp again. These are all little things that I think can be really interesting to make this story, especially if we're going to talk about a slow burn Jay Uso heel turn. I think these are little touches that can help that along the way. Fernando says that he thinks the Usos tagged out for a little while. Jay and fact checker agrees. I think that that's the way to go myself personally. Again, if you add in those little production things that I've kind of thrown out there, I think that that's great. And fact checker agrees. Podcast Dad is in the chats. He is sending love between chunks. I kept out why you were feeling bad today, but thank you for popping in. I know that you were got a date with your toilet right now, but sending thoughts your way, bud. So let's talk a little bit here about Bron Breakker and firing back at CM Punk. CM Punk was not at Raw last night, so this is another opportunity for Bron Breakker to step up and show what he can do as a potential main event player in waiting. And once again, knocked it out of the park. He was cutting. He was quick-witted. Pacing was good. He just looked confident. He looked like he belonged. He looked poised. He looked collected. It's not there are not very many people that can keep up with CM Punk on the mic, but I think that Bron Breakker is more than capable of doing that after what we've seen the last couple of weeks away from CM Punk. Especially taking the swipe at AJ Lee towards the end of it. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on the fact that, quite frankly, this January 5th could be the day that Bron Breakker is crowned World Heavyweight Champion for the first time. And kind of, we know the jetpack's already on him, but this would be the coronation, the coming out party for him that I think we got to keep an open mind for it. We see the development of Bron Breakker. We see, how he has stepped up in the absence of Seth Rollins, who's, that's a major void to fill on Raw, and he's stepping up just fine with it. He looks in command. He looks in control. I just think that there's a lot to like about Bron Breakker in 2026, and I think it starts with a world title run. I mean, is he walking into WrestleMania with the world title? Probably not. But I think that a brief title run between now and Vegas would just be fucking awesome. But let me know what you guys think in the chats. Thank you so much to everybody that has joined me tonight. Again, Podcast Dad is under the weather, so this is a solo show with Mr. Cincinnati. You can find us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But please subscribe to our YouTube channel. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. We need your help to get there. Takes 2 seconds. Turn on those notifications so you know when we are live weeknights at 7 p.m. And scan that QR code in the top left corner for our merch store. Fernando says that Bron should win. Time for new talent to rise. I agree. So in case you guys missed it, we were on a podcast over the weekend with a dear friend of mine, attorney James Bogan. He hosts Past the Clock. Episode 22 did just drop on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. This was an incredible conversation. We had a lot of fun talking about not just John Cena's retirement tour, kind of recapping Survivor Series War Games, but looking ahead to 2026 and the youth movement that we are starting to see in WWE. Because, I mean, looking at the roster right now, Bron Breakker is ready for a breakout. Ilya Dragunov is keeping the open challenge concept alive and thriving. We are seeing, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. Dominic Mysterio has not even hit his peak yet, and he is already fucking incredible. Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul starting to step up in the vision, and we're seeing him on TV a little bit more and more. So I'm hoping that these are things that continue into 2026, because these are all names that they can rely on to carry this brand in the absence of a Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes is still the QB1, but we'll see how his schedule remains going into 2026, especially if he walks out with the undisputed championship. Obafemi hasn't even hit the main roster yet. Javon Evans hasn't. Ethan Page hasn't. It feels like 2026 is going to be lightning in a bottle for WWE as far as the youth movement that they have right now. And it's so important that they take the rest of this year to try to start to jumpstart that. And Bron Breakker, again, taking on CM Punk on January 5th at the 1-year anniversary on Netflix. And then we've got Gunther this weekend taking on John Cena and likely going to win. This is a chance to kind of lay that table and set that foundation for youth movement in 2026. So I'm all here for it. Let me know in the comments if there's anybody that you guys are particularly excited about seeing on the main roster in 2026. Obafemi should win Saturday night's main event. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Especially because these are labeled as exhibition matches, and we'll do our full predictions later on this week when Podcast Dad is back. But we have Obafemi taking on Cody Rhodes. We have Bailey taking on Sol Ruca, which is that's going to be another incredible match. And then Leon Slater and Javon Evans are taking on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. So, I mean, again, youth movement is in full swing because everybody that is on this card deserves to be on this card, sharing this opportunity with John Cena in his last match. So, when it comes to Obafemi, especially because it's going to sound like it's going to be a Drew McIntyre related finish of sorts, just to protect Cody, even though it is an exhibition match. So he is already protected. It doesn't necessarily count in his win-loss column. Obafemi getting this opportunity is huge for him because this is a guy, not to sound like Chris Collinsworth, that has just I don't really know how to describe it. The come up of Obafemi in 2025 has been otherworldly. Like I mean, we've seen some good rookie years in WWE history. Brock Lesnar being a good example, Kurt Angle. But this is especially in terms of efficiency, with how few matches it took for Obafemi to capture championships, and the time that he's had in NXT, it has been statistically pretty efficient when it comes to his championship statistics. So it would not surprise me if Obafemi was booked just for this match, so that he could be NXT champion going into it, and then loses it to Javon Evans at New Year's Evil. We did talk about that on an episode yesterday, so check that out in our archives. But yeah, Fernando, I agree with you. I think that Obafemi should get the win this weekend, and it's going to be a damn good match. So I really can't wait. But let's talk a little bit of the Women's World Championship division. We saw Stephanie Vaquer come out and basically wants to address who her next challenger should be, that she feels. Nikki Bella comes out once again. So a relatively surprising pop that she got kind of at the start of her music. I don't know if it's just because of the you can look but you can't touch hook, and then all right, there we go. Sorry about that, everybody. It is one of those nights. But talking Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella, we see Raquel Rodriguez eventually come out and state her claim to the Women's World Championship because Nikki Bella ruined that opportunity for her. And we get to see Stephanie. And this is a test for her. They had great chemistry in their first match, I thought. And this is something that you can build on, and it helps the Judgment Day storyline in a big way, because last week we went off the air with Liv Morgan holding up Raquel and Roxanne's hands with the tag team championships. But now Raquel has decided that she's going to cut the line. Her match was interrupted. She feels that she should have another opportunity. Raquel eating Nikki into the ring post was a nice swerve. Absolutely, it was, because this is, I mean, I don't see Nikki Bella winning the world title during the, however long this run is here. I just don't see it in the cards for her. And that's just because Stephanie Vaquer is head and shoulders better. I think that the match quality is going to improve when she's got other people that are more adept to this current WWE style than what Nikki had to wrestle for the majority of her career. And using her as the legend that Stephanie gets, her first singles feud over, I think that that's a perfect way to use her in this capacity. I wouldn't mind seeing her flirt with the Intercontinental title a little bit. I think I'd prefer that more than the women's world title right now. But Raquel, again, stepping up, and Stephanie showing no fear in the face of this challenge is going to be really, really cool. And seeing how Liv Morgan, she's very clearly upset at the fact that Raquel has gone after the title, but now she's slotting herself into the tag team picture with Roxanne. So these are a lot of moving parts at play that I think will be really, really fun to watch, over the next weeks and months here. But Stephanie Vaquer, very clearly, a lot of faith and a lot of confidence in her, and she's just phenomenal. So I am excited to see what they do with her, and I can't wait to see this match with Raquel go down. If we're lucky, hopefully we'll get it at the January 5th Netflix episode that's set to be kind of a super card of sorts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments there. So let's move on here to really quickly LA Knights getting destroyed by Bronson Reed and the Tsunami at the end of the show here. I know that it's easy to get panicked about what we're seeing with LA Knight here. This is great because, yes, it writes LA Knight off probably for the rest of 2025, but absence is going to make the heart grow fonder. I could see him being taking off until the Netflix premiere as well. I think he's set to have a major year in 2026 with the Vision, because he's going to be out for blood when he comes back, and he's gonna want Logan Paul, he's gonna want Bron Breakker, he's gonna want Bronson Reed. I mean, this sets up Rumble spots, this sets up Elimination Chamber. LA Knight, Logan Paul at WrestleMania could be a lot of fun as well. That's a money match on it. Honestly, him against any one of these three is a WrestleMania worthy match. But I think LA Knight, Logan Paul is what I'm going to predict right now in terms of this, because of just kind of how we've seen this start. Especially throughout Raw last night. I mean, LA Knight was in every major segment throughout the show. So, it would not. That's my guess. I'm thinking that he's written off the rest of the year, comes back at the Netflix premiere, and that sets up his revenge tour going into WrestleMania, which keeps him busy and it keeps him in the spotlight, especially if Bron Breakker walks out with the World Heavyweight Championship. And who knows what we'll be talking about come April in Vegas, if Bron happens to still be champion. Now, tonight on NXT, we have Blake Monroe offering up an open challenge, albeit reluctantly, for the Women's North American Championship. And I was looking at the roster a little bit and, trying to come up with a couple of names that I think would be appropriate for an open challenge tonight. And first one that comes to mind is Jada Parker. This is one of those things where, these open challenges, Jada Parker gets pretty cutthroat, and not only does it fit into her character, but Blake needs she needs a feud right now. That's not to say that I think that her title reign is not going well or anything like that. But setting up something that gives her a match at New Year's Evil and kind of an extended program. We've seen the magic that she can make with Toni Storm over a 2-year period. I just want to see more of that storytelling with her as the, as the hunted, we'll say, when it comes to the Women's North American Championship. So that's my front runner. It also wouldn't surprise me if Carmen Petrovic is one of them, or even Ren Sinclair, I think would be a lot of fun. What she's doing with the NQCC right now is just super hilarious to me, and I love her relationship with Kendall Gray. So that would be cool. Those are going to be my guesses as far as open challenge tonight. We've got Jordynne Grace taking on Kelani Jordan. Seen this go on for quite a few months now, so finally getting their hands on each other. I love this for Kelani because she's starting to get that true heel heat, and Jordynne Grace is just so beloved by the NXT universe that we've seen this brewing for a while. So I'm hoping that this match gets a bit of a non-finish so that we can pick it up at New Year's Evil. But this will not be the first time that these two lock it up tonight. So I'm absolutely stoked for that one. And then we've got Shiloh Hill debuting for NXT. The cryptic teases are over. Shiloh will be in the building tonight. Jury's still out on this character for me. I think some of the delivery of those promos is great. Other parts, not so much. But he has a size advantage that I'm excited to see NXT take advantage of, because we do have, again, Obafemi is the preeminent big man on the NXT roster right now. But with him likely going to the main roster in 2026 at some point, I think that, having a Josh Briggs ready to go and Shiloh Hill kind of also taking up the mantle there could be big opportunities for him. So I'm excited to see what they do with him tonight and kind of how the in-ring presentation matches what we've seen in the promos. And I'm sure that we will hear from our men's and women's Iron survivors, as well as hopefully Tony D'Angelo. But that is going to do it for me tonight. Thank you again to everybody who tuned in. Find us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But please do us a favor. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. On the road to 500 subscribers. We love what we're building here at the Wrestling Junkies, and we want you to be a part of it. We want your friends to be a part of it. Like, share, subscribe. Show some love to our friends at Main Event Wrestling Network at main-event_net on all social media platforms, and hit that QR code for our merch store. But remember, tomorrow we have NWA World Television Champion Brian Idol on the show. Action Wrestling Bangers Only is available on IWTV on demand. And this Thursday, the John Cena tribute episode. The last time is now, December 11th, 7 p.m. We're going to be talking all things John Cena. We want you to tune in, comment with your favorite Cena moments. If you've met Cena, any interactions, favorite memories, you name it, we want to hear it. So thank you guys so very much. This has been the Mr. Cincinnati for the podcast dad. Feel better, Chris. Until tomorrow, guys, enjoy those grabs.